And we're back. It's going to be vVv taking on Cog here. A little bit of a pause out front. Chris having some troubles. He got them worked out.
All right, so there was some swippy swappy going on. It's going to be Zamfira playing Sivir in the mid lane against Cheese Beluga Xerath. Then we're also going to have Get Snuggled in the top lane on Rengar with Porpoise Pops playing Shyvana in the jungle, which I thought was going to happen. But it was like, jungle Rengar, you know, I wouldn't put it past vVv to do something unorthodox because they do it all the time. They really do.
Indeed. And vVv, I mean, we had a lot of high hopes coming in for vVv. Yeah. Fantastic play, great coordination. They ran into Quantic early.
Yeah, they on the first day. So Quantic was having
on the first day. If they'd had day two, they would have been set.
Sadly, no idea what happened. But yeah. So I was looking at Zane King's masteries, and he's full offense right now. He's all the way down to the double penetration, the 6% in both armor and magic. And he's also got hybrid penetration in his runes. So he's looking for some harassment here, both physical and magical.
I got to say, I love the Annie play. I mean, this is one of those things we just started to see in the past couple of months. That's bot lane Annie with the big pin on there. But it's so good to watch that long range auto attack. Again, it just reminds me of Dirvik Kirksik's Lithuanian scene and that AD carry Annie. We'll see it in North America soon enough. It's going to happen.
Maybe we'll actually import Dirvik here.
If I had made that joke about mid lane Sivir earlier in the day, you would have been like, yeah, okay, Dirvik Kirksik, mid lane Sivir. Boom, there it is. Yeah. Zamfira, little known fact, going to be going AP.
What?
Yep, going AP on the Sivir.
Don't do that to me. No, I had to check his runes in masteries when you said that. You got me. So Zane King
Does he have anything that scales on magic damage?
No. Sivir got nothing.
MF you could.
That's true. She's got the
make it rain and really hurt people. Not very much with that.
Does the bullet time have a ratio on it?
Yeah, the ult has a double dual
it does.
Stuff.
And double scaling. But so I'm looking at Zane King. He's got the ancient coin. We saw an Annie earlier in the day take that Spell Thief's Edge, and I was talking about it. I'm like, if you're gonna get zoned, you really need to take the ancient coin, and the coin turns into the best one, the ancient or the Talisman of Ascension. That's the one. Which gives you that Shirelia's, which gives you engagement power, which is what Annie's all about in the late game. So he's setting up for those later games.
Double lane swap here as Cog gets the read on vVv. Get us in the soloers bottom. Chris going to be able to run in to get snuggled, and we've seen the 2v1 lanes in a situation. Actually, I think we saw Rengar versus Riven too, and I can't remember that one going fairly poorly for the Riven, which we talked about before. The sustain not quite there. So Chris going to hop in, do a little bit of aggression here. Chris, very, very talented Riven player. We'll see if that's enough to stack it on up. Got Elise making her way in, get Snuggles there. Chris going to hop forward, get the stun off. Ignite goes down, going to hop over the Ziploc. Flash forward, stun's not going to get there. The Fire and Forget Spider will take him low. If that stun had landed, that may have been first blood on to get Snuggled, but he'll get clear.
Yeah, he flashes off to the side, was still a little wide on the Cocoon. So wasn't going to be able to pick that one up. His ward was thrown down, but it was cleared out fairly early. I guess he did no vision from him. No vision from Get Snuggled.
Porpoise Pops and Zamfira hanging out. Not a good look for him. Going to have to spin the flash, which means return trip to mid lane. Going to be on the bill.
And especially against the Sivir. You got a stun from Cheese Beluga that can set you up for that gank really, really well. And it looks like he's going to make a visit top. Porpoise Pops just going to back.
Rolling around. Going to recall. Zane King there, and nothing here. Taking a look at him. Got to run him off. They got the brush warded. Ping going to come down onto him. Gets snuggled, and Chris still going at it. Ziploc hanging around, waiting for the party down bottom. He's got his invitation. He's put on his clothes, but he wants to be fashionably late.
Yeah, well, they saw Porpoise Pops up top, and ooh.
Got the stun onto that minion in a big way, but not the target he wanted.
Hey, at least the minion couldn't do damage to him. Silver lining.
Silver lining.
Making a rotation towards middle, gonna have both mid laners actually backing fairly early, and Tails might be in trouble.
Tails locked up. The exhaust onto nothing here. Gonna abate the damage a little. Tails gonna run Zine King off. Zine King? Zine King?
I don't know. I call him Zane King.
I need to ask him. Yeah.
Zine King?
Should ask him.
One of us will be right.
Yes. Hopefully.
Zine King.
Or Zine King. It could be.
Oh.
It's a
That sounds
it's a
German.
verb. I'm going Zine King later.
I don't,
Fishing.
it's like a German word for fishing,
Zanks.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
It probably makes sense. Germans can confirm that. Might be a Lithuanian word.
Man, they're just
Get snuggled
you have
rolling
so much
forward.
knowledge.
I love the Lithuanian scene. One of my favorites.
Needs more visibility.
A lot of solid players, very inventive play. Ziploc in, stun, gonna miss again. Fire and forget. Spider will get some work done. Aggressive repel, just gonna hop it on back to some minions. However, as it remains, I don't want to say quiet, as there have been plenty of attempts there. Nothing here. Got some good work done on the tails with help from Zion King here earlier. But 5:49 into the game, nobody's been able to lock anything down but good. Chris going to go for it now. Gets on the right side. It gets snuggled to start things off down there. Going to peter away as the jump's too good.
Oh, he's going in.
Oh, he gets him. Got to get him up under the turret. Thought he was going to get away there. First
he
blood
knew
over to Chris.
Chris knew he had flash, and that Get Snuggled didn't. So as soon as Get Snuggled... nothing here went...
Gets a shield. Nice timing from Godshoe there. Gonna get into stop any follow-up from nothing here.
That was really scary, but we have Ziploc coming in from the side.
Can he get to Tails? Tails not gonna be in the bush. Give it a little second. He's gonna come walking out. Oh, Tails won't get away. No, he's gonna flash over. Gets him! Ziploc grabs it, puts the second on the board for Khan.
That was a great follow-up there. He waited that out. Waited and baited that. Went straight for it. Got the flash. Used his own. So when Tails gets back to lane, that might be another visit up top for Ziploc. And they
Still got
swap the lane.
the cleanse in case of emergency with a stun.
Sorry, they don't swap the lane. That's a jungle Shyvana. What am I talking about?
Yes. It
So
happens.
used to her.
Shyvana
So
on the lane,
used to
yeah.
her. Yeah, so
Very
used to her
common.
being a laner.
9.5 to 8.7, pushing it towards a 1K gold lead here early on.
So it looks like Brutalizer is going to be the first thing that Chris picks up. Once again, in that matchup, the Riven's going for some armor penetration, trying to get through those resistances that Rengar is going to be building. And it's essentially a tanky character against a very melee-heavy, kind of bruisery assassin, but not really excelling at either of those. Riven's just a lot of damage. I guess you would call her an AD carry, but not a marksman.
Yeah. This isn't. Yeah, you got to really put some itemization in there, and still doesn't get that beefy, even if you itemize in that direction. Not somebody that you think of as a front liner. And again, that was actually the problem earlier today in Quantic's game 2, I think it was. Chris now on to get snuggled again, pops the ult, and just gonna walk it back on over, letting him know who's boss.
At least he gets the ult out of it. So Chris ended up picking a cloth armor.
CS gap as well.
Yeah, that's really true. Ah.
Was down about 35 to the 44 of Get Snuggled there. Sent a couple of lanes over, and now everything dead center. Get Snuggled well back, and they'll both return to the lane dead even, save for that kill in the bucket for Chris.
And so we have Chris with a cloth armor. He's probably going to turn that into his boots. I don't know if he would turn that into something like a Randuin's, because usually when you build... Because Riven's rewarded for building offensively, because her Valor has an AD ratio on the shield. So the more attack damage you have, the more shielding your shield gives. So I don't usually see defensive items on her. Unless it's an offensive item as well, like a Hex Drinker. But no, I think that'll be his boots.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, he could go for a random.
There's a lot of... I mean, you got Porpoise Pops, Get Snuggled, all going to be in there beating on Chris. That was good. Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah. We'll go with the mid lane. A runaway right now for Zamfira is 93 to 71 CS.
And the double AD team, you always have to be a little careful though, because if they start building armor, you really don't have anything to match that. So maybe Zane King will be the source of magic damage. Possible, 3.14. Annie, really, really strong.
Might have started it with the other gold gen item there, the blue one.
Yeah.
Cross
but he still wants the engagement. And if you have ADCs, ooh, it's
not going to trouble. Chris going to flash out the other side of it. Repel there as Porpoise Pops comes in. Ziploc going to be able to walk away from it. Possibly not clean though. The red buff will slow Porpoise Pops down. Gets snuggled, going extremely low before Porpoise Pops got there. Another second later, and that would have been the end of that lion. Would have been just like that scene in The Lion King.
Get Snuggled's just sticking around. Okay, so he's actually going to back now. Getting a little bit of the experience from Porpoise Pops clearing out the wave top turret, taking a lot of damage. But I was thinking about this. The ultimate from Sivir, combined with 2 ADCs, combined with the Talisman of Ascension, is just so much movement speed. And as soon as Cheese Beluga roots himself, if those start coming in, Sivir just runs straight in, puts on the spell shield, puts everything up. It's a lot of movement speed, and they'll close that distance extremely quickly. Or kite backwards with both ADCs and keep them safe.
Has used the ult twice now just for lane clear. No super long cooldown on that. Cog working Dragon. They've got people in the area to contest it, and they're going to roll up, but it's going to be too late. Uncontested Dragon there. Cog will swing out now, just about to a 2k gold lead. Porpoise Pop's recalling in the gank brush. Chris going to do the same in Tri Brush, and top outer going to come under attack and be finished off by nothing here.
Making themselves out to a 2.2, 2.3k gold lead for Cognitive. They've been doing a fantastic job this game, slowly but surely pushing it out, and there's 2 BF swords.
30 CS lead.
They can push turrets so quickly now. If you pair a Sivir up with a Lucian and you bring them both into the same lane, those 2 of those top tier ADCs right now, and both on the same team, they both excel at taking turrets, it's going to be a massacre if they get their hands on it.
They're going to be very hard to deal with as well. I mean, you've got a lot of good range between both of them, a lot of good damage output, and just, it's going to be a tough one to walk into. And Annie's stun is going to spell absolute disaster for vVv, especially with as much frontline as they're going to have. I mean, Porpoise Pops is in good shape. He's 58 CS, been keeping pace, gets snuggled down bottom. Everybody else starting to fall behind just a little bit on the CS numbers. And that's one of those things, like you said, they're going to really need to rely on the damage output of that front line. And Annie's stun, especially with all those AD carries, invisible golems, it could be a very, very bad way. Cog got a lot of stuff they can use here, especially with Riven in good shape. That kill in 65 CS.
Yeah, and it looks like they lane swap it. Cognitive does. They say, we got the top turret, let's swap it, get Lucian down bottom with Annie, and go ahead and have them push that bottom turret. And meanwhile, if we look at Cheese Beluga's build, he wants to get the Athenes and Holy Grail, but there's no reason to buy any magic resist. And Chris going in, up top.
Gonna run it in on Tails. Runs out of room, though, and he'll just use it to clear the lane. The poke
Nothing
will
says-
begin anew.
Nothing says I'm going in on a Riven like blowing your ultimate.
Nothing here, gonna get locked up. Stun, drop, get snug, getting beat up. Big Bear tanking out the turret. Cog will back it up. They come away empty-handed, but certainly show vVv that they are not going to get bullied off of this turret. Mid-outer going to fall now as the 135 CS Sivir pushes Cheese Beluga back just long enough to get the job done. They come in again to pressure onto the turret, keeping things at range. Tibbers drops. That is not the end of the threat from Cog here as Porpoise Pops runs low, gets snuggled, still in bad shape. He's just got nothing to hit.
Yep. Culling clearing out the wave, and we're going to have Ziploc off on the side. Gets the
Stun's going to land on it, get snuggled, and they're not going to go with it. Repel into the sky. Gotta wait for him to come down and then try to buy some time. Knock up there from Janna. Will get the flash out of Ziploc. Went for a crazy one. Was just a little too early. Got there ahead of that delicious package full of blue minions. And not a lot of health left on that turret. Cog might try to sneak in.
I think they were looking for some type of engagement there. Wave wasn't quite where they wanted it to be. Yeah, so like I was saying, Cheese Beluga, I thought he was going for a Chalice of Harmony, but he's actually going the right build here. Build the Morellonomicon for himself, gets himself the cooldown reduction, gets himself the mana regen, and the ability power that he needs. But, of course, when you build the Athenes, you have wasted stats and the magic resist against a double AD comp like this. It's a great pickup by him.
Ult fails to clear the lane. And now it's at about 240 before Dragon's going to be back up. It's a 3k gold lead for Cognitive right now. Gets snuggled in trouble again. He just can't seem to avoid it everywhere he goes on the map. There's a lot of people taking a look at his name tag and saying, you know, I think I'd like to kill that guy. We'll be able to secure the red buff. Not sure if they'll give that one over to Porpoise Pops. Looks like they will.
I think they're just misunderstood. They see his name and they think it's free hugs.
Yeah.
So they get all over him.
Yeah, it's a little too aggressive and understand. I mean, you would be super excited if you thought there were free hugs around.
Of course, I'd go right after that and blow my ultimate and start chasing him down. Give me the hug.
It's the kind of world you want to live in. You know?
Yeah. But of course, you know, he's speaking a different language, so Get Snuggled just sees this very aggressive bunny rabbit woman flying at him, and he's scared.
Showing how rough the past couple of minutes have been for him, even though we make that joke, but Get Snuggled run low again in the jungle. As Chris hops onto him, he is 19 CS down and a kill. And that's ignoring a dragon and 3 turrets in favor of Cog, who have put themselves out to a nice lead. Get snuggled. You know, it's one of those things, really, this is where Chris needed to be with a Riven pick. Obviously, Get Snuggled can be a little bit slower into it. He's going to serve a slightly different purpose, at least build-wise. He's going to go a little bit beefier, more Renekton style. And Chris is in really great shape, though. Going to get this done on the Porpoise Pops.
Yeah, and you were talking about different builds in terms of style. If we look at Ziploc, he went straight for the Haunting guys. Not unheard of on Elise players, but he's getting the penetration and basically making a statement to vVv. The rest of my team is going to be physical damage. If you build only armor, I'm going to be doing true damage percent HP to you. Because I think he's going to get the penetration boots on top of that. He's sitting at about 30, plus whatever he brings in his runes. That'll bring Get Snuggled down to 16 magic resist. So if he doesn't build anything, then he's going to be getting true damage percent HP from Ziploc.
Yeah, a hard one to deal with as well. Plus, once you have the armor pin in, armor only goes so far, and right now the 80 carries in pretty good shape. Zamfira going to get run off here as Tease Beluga's got the range. They're going to turn it around on him, however, and get started as Ziploc and Chris look for one up top. Not going to find him, but Zane King will finish the job with a Tibbers burn. Get snuggled now onto Ziploc. Porpoise Pop's going to turn it around. Chris in there to play great protector and does a good job of it. Gets a slow here from Get Snuggled. Porpoise Pop's trying to finish the job on Ziploc. Can't do it. Zamfira in from the backside. Get Snuggled running low. Porpoise Pop still being chased down. Zane King trying to help out. Can't get it. Zamfira's still alive. Get Snuggled down. Zamfira gets the kill. Godshoe in trouble. Nothing here in. Tails is going to run him off. No, sir. Nothing here. We'll finish off Godshoe. Tails hanging around. Cog going to reconnoiter. Tails will get nothing, and they lose nobody. Cog running it straight to the bone. Pick up 2. 3 if you count Cheese Beluga, who started that one off. Nicely played.
The double ADC composition here is working extremely well for Cognitive. I would actually call it triple ADC, counting Riven. But
Yeah.
the fact that they have Sivir and Lucian, 2 high-priority ADCs, is just incredible. Sivir's ultimate does so much work, and Lucian just brings so much pressure to objectives. It's a little disgusting, this composition. They have the same build coming out, too, from both of them.
Apologize, I had to sneeze there.
Good Gesundheit.
Wow. I made it through. I'm okay. So, 5,000 gold lead now for Cog at the 17.5-minute mark. 5 kills to none. 3 turrets to none. Is it time?
Wombat,
Is it time?
is it going to happen today?
Could it happen?
A complete shutout? You think
No
Cognitive's going to
dragons,
bring you the
no
dreams?
turrets, no dragons. Or no dragons, no turrets, no kills. I was excited about the dragon. I said it twice. If you're going to finish off the dragon.
Here we go,
But
action.
that's the full shutout. It's still, that's the perfect game. A shutout would be no kills, no turrets. Get Snuggled going to go down here. And who's going to get it? Nothing here going to get it. That'll be a second of the game. Money spread very evenly across the field here for Cognitive. As there's a kill on everybody, 2 on nothing here. And 3, a lot of global gold in play too. 3 towers down, 2 dragons. Cog very much in control of this game. Going to be, I don't even know, man. vVv got a long way to go to get to good.
Yeah, considering they have nothing, and I'm sure you're having.
Oh, they get a turret.
Oh, they get a turret.
I don't even want to live on this
Shattered.
planet anymore. Bottom inner turret going to fall. Forgot how to say enter.
Always wanted that shutout, but of course, crushed dreams, broken hearts.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at Zamfira. I was playing that Sivir. I saw her face. I was a believer. You know, but what can you do? Ziploc gonna work down the blue buff and get out of town. They lose mid outer, but pick up bottom inner turret. 4 turrets to 1 now. All the outer turrets gone and bottom inner in favor of Cog. vVv picking up their first of the game with mid outer. A nice turret to get. We'll see if they can capitalize on it in any way. So far, it's been Cog really controlling movement around the map.
And you were talking about the Sivir. I think that's a great pick, and there's not a trace of doubt in my mind that it's working out for them. They are doing so well with that double ADC comp, triple ADC comp, and the armor from vVv really isn't there. Because Cheese Beluga, you don't really build Zonias on Xerath, because it's all about positioning, and if you're in a bad position, then you're pretty much dead anyway.
Sivir champion you really got to stand by too. Even if you have a rough start, you got to say, you know what? I couldn't leave her if I tried. You really got to stick in there. Make sure you get the build where it needs to go. Zamfir going to have no trouble with that, though, as he's leading the game at CS 222, 103 on the kill count.
And they're just shoving up the mid right now. 2 blue buffs, Zamfira and Ziploc, double Z's.
free damage on the Ziploc there as Cheese Beluga just popping shots over the wall. Good damage, too.
He's got a sweeper lens trying to keep himself safe, and ultimate coming out for some wave clear.
In comes Chris, like an uninvited party guest, to send Tails low. Ignite burns away. Tails in no shape to fight. It's going to be up to Cheese Beluga to keep him at range. And that's one thing they've got going for him right now. The Tails ultimate, that wave clear from Get Snuggled in close, and Cheese Beluga got plenty of ranged and plenty of in-close wave clear of his own. So really short cooldowns, especially as the game rolls on. He gets that cooldown taken care of. That ult's going to be up just all the time. Same for Ez. So they'll be able to clear away. It's going to help their counter siege. And they're going to need it.
God, look at how quickly they clear these waves out. It's gone.
Yeah.
The Ricochet just bouncing. And the thing with Ricochet, though, is that it hits all of them in a line. Regardless of how far back the one in the back is, it's going to go through all of them. So Ricochet can have up to something like a 1500 range just through the minion wave.
And they got rid of the, they changed the bounces. It's now not a set number.
Yeah. It's just whatever's near is going to be getting hit by this.
Gonna catch one. Chris and Get Snuggled playing a game of golems. And Snuggle learning that you either win or you die. You will live, though, for now.
Yep. You win or you die, and looks like he's gonna go for the die.
Yep. He wants it. Oh, Chris misses the second shot of the ult. Porpoise Pop's gonna move in on Cog down in the mid lane, but they get it cleared. Zamfir not done. Rest of the team wasn't quite with him on that one. Top ender gonna fall now as Chris starts it back up. Get Snuggled had to take a powder. Had to get out of that fight. He's gonna run down towards mid lane. Lag happening all over the place, so it looks like it may have been the servers.
Yep.
Had a little bit of trouble yesterday. Hopefully it won't get too bad, though.
Didn't warrant a pause, though, so it was probably just a quick blip.
Yeah, they said spiking earlier during a pause. I forget who that pause was. Somebody earlier in the day paused for spiking. It was Quanti. Who was Quanti playing that last game? It was them. TWZ.
TWZ, yeah.
Maybe. TBD? One of them. One of those T teams.
So apparently vVv has found out cognitive strategy. If you're lagging, pick the auto attack champions.
Yep. Shift click and you're there.
Yep, that's it. Right click heroes all the way.
That's
so
how you
sweeper
live
lens.
large. Stay in charge.
And the sweeper lens came out for Cheese Beluga quite a while ago. He's been using that to try and keep himself safe since, Xerath really relies on positioning. If you get caught out, you're gone. Even if you stun the person right in front of you, you still don't have enough movement speed to make it away from somebody like a Riven or a sped up anybody on their team. Sivir, get Snuggled.
Snuggled doing it. Porpoise Pop's going to come in. I don't think that's going to get Chris to leave. He's trying to slow him down. Nothing doing. Chris going to go into Porpoise Pops now. He got a big shield. Recall ping comes out from vVv. They're saying, you can't beat Chris. He's got the cooldowns with a little too much burn in there. Red buff was slowing him down. Nothing here going to try and catch it up. Cheese Beluga's in. Porpoise Pops will get to safety, but just a straight up pick there. Still no kills on the board for vVv. That single turret ruining my life.
And we look over at the build. The Black Cleaver here for Chris is extremely smart, because when you're running a triple ADC comp like this, you look over and you're like, okay, they're going to build some armor. What do we do? If you build a Last Whisper, that's a little selfish because it only takes care of your damage. But if you build a Black Cleaver, it's the debuff you apply to the enemy, so you shred their armor for everybody that's going to be attacking them. And it'll get down to 25%, I believe, is what it caps at. And so he's helping out Zamfir and Nothing Here by purchasing that item.
It works for him as well because he's going to get that extra health. I mean, wonderfully synergistic across not only the team, but Chris keeping in mind, hey, I'm going to be in the pile fighting, and we got to get this as close to a shutout as possible. We know we gave him a turret. I'm still looking for that. The shutout, no turrets, no kills, the perfect game, no objectives whatsoever to the enemy team.
One of
Keep
these
it in mind,
days,
guys, and look for it. And if the caster's not hype about it, yell at him.
it'd be a roll. It'd be a complete roll. And be hyped about that. Yeah,
Yes.
it is a complete shutout. Yeah,
You'd have to.
it's really hard to see.
It gives you something.
Very
It gives
rare.
you something in a steamroll to root for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, steamrolls can make it so the other teams just shut down. They don't really have anywhere they can move or anything they can do. But it gives you something to look for, and it gives you something to try to spoil if you're on the team that's behind.
That's true. At least we got that kill. At least we got that turn.
Guys pitching a perfect game, you're trying to get a hit. Because that guy's not on my team. I'm going to get a perfect game. Put somebody on base. Cheese Beluga just clearing things out now, right? Cog has backed it off momentarily. Certainly the strength of their push is undeniable. 8K gold out front, and vVv has not won a team fight in ever.
No. They haven't won a team fight, let alone just get a kill or a pick in this entire game. Ziploc clearing out the Baron might be the next point that they want to go after.
A testament to a well-coordinated cognitive team here. Ziploc got a solo Baron down. Certainly looks capable of it. It's going to take a little while. Chris will come in and do a little bit of help. And showing 280 carries on lane, you got to think the 280 carry team, they wouldn't put them on lane and do Baron, would they? It's really looking like it. They are very slowly working Baron down. 26 minutes in. Are they going to... They're going to send somebody over there. Pings on the Baron. Ezalt in to check it. That should be the cue to leave. Ziploc is very, very low. And it will be. A weird try from Cog. It doesn't come together. vVv going to roll in on it, though. And just clear the wards.
Get snuggled, double queuing it. Baron apparently still angry. Sends him a parting gift.
Nothing here in just to get Tails to react. Does get the reaction out of it. It's a little bit of damage out there, but nothing to write home about. Cog gonna back it up. Just a really interesting... I mean, and the fact that they got a read on it. On view, they're like, where are those two? Why aren't they split pushing? What's going on? Nice read there by vVv to roll over and stop it. It would have taken them, you know, on the rough side of 45 minutes to actually finish the Baron, but still.
That's an accurate estimate, I would assume.
I think so. Well handled by vVv, though, to get the read on it, because that was a weird one.
Yeah, I think they may have been able to do it with Valor having such a low cooldown. Chris would be able to tank it up and maybe heal himself with the Ravenous Hydra. And Ziploc, he had to continuously go in and out and have his Spiderlings tank it. And then they kept dying, so he'd have to swap to human form, re-up them, and then swap back. But it would have taken a while. They would have gotten extremely low. That maybe a True Shot Barrage could have killed them if they had waited it out. Or they would have just rotated their ADCs there. You know, makes it even quicker.
Once they get low enough to burn it before vVv could get over, they all just rotate towards Baron all of a sudden, because vVv is obviously going to be very slow and methodical about the pushover. Either way, it didn't end up working out for him.
Yeah, you sit there and you're like, oh, they're making a move towards Baron. As soon as they walk in the pit, they get the buff. You're like, what? That doesn't
Chris
seem
looking
right.
for the party. He's in the right neighborhood, but can't get close enough to the house. There's dogs trained to attack on site. 8,000 gold lead now for Cognitive, and it's basically their pace. vVv can't argue with anything.
Yeah, he knows it's the right address, too.
Sends a Lucian ult in, and they will get the turret done. Nothing here with credit for that one. Cheese Beluga sends a final parting shot before backing it up. Chris down bottom. Keeping poor Get Snuggled all to himself down there.
And the Sivir, it looked like the Ricochet didn't actually bounce to the final minion now.
I've had that happen a couple times. It's a little
I'm wondering, does it actually have a limit on it? I would assume
it's got a range limit that's fairly aggressive on what it'll bounce to, I think.
I think there might be like a number limit that isn't stated on the tooltip. Because that would make sense. Because if you
I would feel like I've been lied to. Because they even said in the video that it didn't have a limit now.
It doesn't have a limit? That's amazing.
That's what they said in the video, I think.
That's amazing.
It said it didn't have a set limit. Well, I'm going to put air quotes around that. I seem to remember that's what's in the video.
Wow. Because I'm like, if there's a huge minion wave, like a huge minion wave, just sitting there, she would just clear that immediately with a boomerang blade and a ricochet.
Of course, they could have changed that after they made the video.
I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah, I know the range is fairly aggressive on what it falls off at. I think as a trade-off for
they gotta be snuggling each other.
I'd be in pretty close because I've thrown several ricochets out that I thought were going to make it over to the champion and did not get there. So fairly aggressive there. I haven't gotten to play that much Sivir though.
Yeah, fairly quiet too.
It's banned a lot.
Oh, why?
Yeah, no idea. 7-0, working towards a 9K gold lead here for Cog. And again, it's Cog's pace. vVv just reacting to what they're seeing. 35 seconds left to Dragon. Cog going to come over Startup Baron, immediate pings from vVv as they're going to come in and try to put a stop to it. Ezult is well early, but it will give him vision as it passes through. Cog going to bail, roll around, see if they can't catch anybody out. Nice group movement there, and they're trying to red on. Porpoise pops in there. Very hesitant to walk into this one. Cog doesn't want to end up in a bad way. The knock-up sent out. They're going to start it up. Wow, look at that move speed. Sweet goody, that was just insane. Cheese Beluga going to fall on the side as Cog goes storming through the jungle. I don't know if I glitched out or what there, but they're going to go 3 for 1 in favor of vVv. Cogs, Chris, down he goes. Can they get the ace? Nothing here on the run. Going to be a hard one to catch up. Red buff's at the back of the fight. He will get clear. They don't have enough minions to push it down mid lane. Smites around back at home.
That's exactly what I was talking about from Cog, where they blow the Sivir ultimate, they blow the Talisman of Ascension, and then they just rushed in there, head fast, extremely quickly. Porpoise Pops was there to answer. Cheese Beluga flashes over the wall, and they put themselves in a disadvantageous situation.
Oh, he almost got you. He's got the flash to get out. Porpoise Pops in with the smite now. That was just so fast. I was like, did I start fast forwarding? That was insanely quick right there by Cog, but the positioning did not work out for him as vVv had the pincer maneuver. Had the right bodies in the right spots. Nothing here coming in to threaten. Gonna take a bad smite from Porpoise Pops to get it away. Zine King too late. They will get Baron. Get Snuggled in trouble. He'll get out. Cheesed Beluga with a big save there.
Get Snuggled doesn't have flash. He's just baiting them into the back pit for Cheesed.
Down he goes. Zine King gonna get it.
Get Snuggled basically said, I'm gonna try to bait them. That's all I can do. But they get Baron. That's what they're gonna need. Ooh, not gonna hit Annie. There's a nice ultimate there from Tails.
You gotta send those shots out at least a couple times a game, right? You know, just winging a prayer.
If you miss, then you miss. It's got a short cooldown considering every time you hit a Mystic shot, reduces your other cooldowns abilities, or other ability cooldowns by 1. Wow, swap the words.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Still 7,000 gold lead now, though, for Cog. vVv gonna definitely have some fight in the back pocket now after the Baron pickup, and Baron buff spinning on everybody except Get Snuggled.
Yeah, unfortunately had to give up his life there, but it would have been worth it, but it still provided a lot of pressure and stopped them from pushing objectives. Made Zane King very low, he had to back. I believe Nothing Here also took a big chunk of damage. But that fight that broke out, it was really just Cog being over-aggressive and rushing straight into a vVv that they thought they had the advantage over, but I mean, it's Xerath, close quarters, you take him off the map, he did all of his damage. And then Porpoise Pops, you're fighting a Shyvana, a lot of AoE damage there as well.
Yeah, definitely hard to work through very quickly on top of it, especially a Shyvana that's 145 CS 202. Now, vVv's behind on the whole, but you can't argue with that. 202 and 145 CS on a Shyvana. It's going to get her big. It's that talking about having a bad game versus just not having a bad game. In this case, Porpoise Pops having a pretty solid game, actually. And Ringar up top gets Snuggled. He's 169 CS, slightly behind Chris, just a touch, but still not exactly what you'd call a bad game. He can get in there and do some damage, and really, as long as they can do that, buy time for Tails and Cheese Beluga to get their damage down, it's going to pay itself off. So vVv's still got a lot of fight left in them, in spite of the huge gold difference that they're standing in front of right now, 33-45 into this game.
Yeah, and Cognitive, they don't have a lot of defensive stats. They're all extremely squishy, and we look over at Zamfira and Nothing Here, they both just bought a Spectre's Cowl to try and deal with the poke from Cheese Beluga, because he was priming targets before the engagement, so that they had lower HP and were easier to deal with. So they're trying to get maybe a Banshee's Veil. I wouldn't expect something like a Spirit Visage. They could get it, because it synergizes with Lifesteal, but I would expect something like a Banshee's Veil to stop engagements.
Indeed so. Wouldn't mind a Guardian Angel. I mean, we got 80 carries on the field. The GA is just a thing to be reckoned with as long as you've got enough of a front line. Again, Kong doesn't really have a front line as such, so they couldn't necessarily count on Chris and Ziploc to still be in the fight when those spin.
Yeah, that was a huge turnaround, too. They went from 0 to 4 in terms of kills, almost getting an ace.
Yeah,
it was very just that all-in from Cog that just went haywire.
And part of the problem there, like I said, they've still got a strong front line and they've still got a big damage back line. In that case, Cog, they're in the jungle. It's one of those things where the terrain really needs to favor you. You had Cheese Beluga over a wall. and he was just able to get a lot of work done. Same for Tails. So it was kind of a frontline fight. They run down Porpoise Pops. They're trying to catch up Godshoe and Tails. He had too much getaway. Then it left him basically spread wide and having to deal with Porpoise Pops and get snuggled, taking out their backline. After that, it was just a run.
And Zane King looking for something in the middle, can't find it, walking around. And, man, the CS numbers, it's really been a CS intensive game, except Get Snuggled's been sharing with Porpoise Pops, the 2 tanks on the team of vVv. If you look over, Porpoise Pops basically has twice the CS of Ziploc, despite them both being junglers. But Chris has basically twice the CS of Get Snuggled. So a lot of concentrated gold on him.
Which means Chris will be very, very scary if he can get in and get the damage done. Tails trying to work a red buff down. Threats in the area, however. Mid-inner's down. Cog trying to assert themselves and doing a good job of it.
But there's a 1-3-1 split here from Cog. They're going to lose something if they don't make a move. And it has to be the right one.
Burned out, so vVv rightfully hesitant there. Ziploc going to coast Spider for him, see if he can't get out. Big Tipstun going to buy him some time and some getaway juice. Nothing here. Don't think he can get out of it, though. He's just going to drop the ult and back off. Can he get clear? Dash is there, but not good enough. Sivir going to come in from the far side now. Got the back line, can put out some seriously good damage. Zamfira going to get up to the front. Godshoe now under attack. Xerath going to fall there. Zane King getting the credit for that one. Tails doing work at the far side. Chris comes in very late and gets nothing. Zamfira going to fall.
Another 4-for-1.
Big fights there.
Another 4-for-1. Apparently they're saying there was some lag during the fight, but the auto attack champions didn't win on that one.
Absolutely not. Ended themselves up in a big old pile, and vVv got the work done in a big way. Long cooldown times now as we're past the 35-minute mark. Gonna roll through this. Inhibitor is definitely gone. If you're gonna have 3 turrets, might as well be those 3.
They still have an outer turret available in the top lane and the bottom lane. Their only turrets are straight down the middle for vVv, so they're going to start getting some more gold here very shortly.
This is a game that if 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, you had looked at the score, you'd just be like, well, there's only one way out of this one for vVv, and that is a noble surrender. You know? Otherwise, they're just going to get murdered into their base. vVv sticking with it, though, and they got the comeback plays here. Back into it. They're just a little over 3,000 gold behind. And Cog have not been able to make a team fight work. And honestly, right there, that was a great call by vVv. Don't play their game. Come into the mid lane and fight. Exactly what you said they needed to do. Make a move, and they made a big one.
Yeah, because with a 3-1-3 split push like that, if you go to the top lane and you bring 3 people, because they were hanging around Chris, that means Sivir's going to get bottom lane. He's going to get the turret, no problem with that attack speed steroid. And in the middle, they're going to start pushing that out, and you'll lose a team fight there, and you'll lose a lot of members. So vVv made the perfect move there. That was just a phenomenal decision-making. And also, speaking about decision-making, Porpoise Pops stacking basically only armor at this point. Thornmail Randuins.
Because why not?
Yeah, well, he's looking for that magic damage. Thornmail returns it as magic damage. Burnout. Flame Breath?
It's insanely hard to deal with as well. I mean, Thornmail, one of those things. What do? You gotta auto attack him. You don't have an option there. If you want to kill him, drag it over to vVv. As this game, now taking a look at it, you think, man, what a really competitive game. It looks like they only got stuff done mid, but still, gonna run into it. Khan got a nice lead out on it. Buying a lot of time there. Godshoe gonna fall off. Buys time for getting snuggled and Tails to get into it. Nothing here gonna fall. 180 carry off the field. Still got Chris and Zamfira going at it on the far side, but Porpoise Pops tanking it out on the front. Right now, a 2-for-1. They lose bottom turret. Cog finally going to pause it up. Been a lot of lag complaints from both sides. Down to a 1,000 gold game. Where did vVv come from, man? They're calling it lag, but vVv have gotten some good fights and big initiations from Cognitive, but they have paid a hefty price for every single one of them.
Man, and a lot of Cog, they just rush straight in, and there isn't a lot of peeling happening from their team. There's not a lot at all. Like, the ADCs are up on the front line, trying to close this distance, trying to get up there, but then get snuggled immediately on their back line, immediately on nothing here, and just decimates him. And so Cog, they're on their back foot now, and it's almost. Oh, actually, it is a 1K gold difference between these two teams.
Still got Zamfira and Chris up. Ziploc back up now. He's going to walk it on out. He will lose his turret. Down it goes. Baron live. Because of that last bit of tumult in the river. Everybody going to recall here for vVv. Cheese Beluga was thinking about going walkabouts. Decides better of it. Guardian Angel onto Tails. Thornmail onto Ringar.
Yeah, they just want to stack that armor. Look at Randuin, Sunfire, Thornmail. Get Snuggled is sitting at 346 armor, and then you add in his W, which gives him 36. It's not even max rank. He'll be sitting around 400 armor in this game.
That's basically how it works when you've got, in this case, triple AD comp. You got a timer on yourself.
Yeah, you got to close the game out, but with 3.14, it's really hard to do that. We're seeing another comeback from 10K.
Could be the cost of the 3.14 patch. Double AD.
Could
You
be
heard
done.
it here. Zyrene said it definitively. No longer viable at all. Worst possible team comp. Zyrene approved for worst.
Oh boy. So there's 4 dragons in favor of COG, but 1 Baron in favor of vVv, and they really used it. Tails picking up a GA. You were talking about that earlier. But Banshee's Veil over on Zamfira.
And Ziploc. Ooh, gotta get away from Tails. A lot of damage put down. Cheese Beluga looking for love. He's gonna get a little bit on to nothing here. Tails sends out the ult. Wide of everybody.
Well, all the wrong places, though. Inhibitor.
Can't get the love you're looking for.
Inhibitor respawned. Like I said earlier, minute off of the cooldown, or I guess the respawn timers on those. Baron, once again, being contested. vVv, starting it up.
Ult out from nothing here. Gonna get not a ton done. Cog being kept on the periphery. What a turnaround. I mean, if vVv can come back from 10K without a Baron buff, what are they gonna do now with a 1K gold lead? Porpoise pops in, gets snuggled, gonna fall. Cog might get themselves a good fight here. Tails to the front. Chris is forced out the back. Wants to come back into it and help against Porpoise Pops. They're going to swing around, try it on. Tails run to the front. Stun's going to land. They can't get the damage through the shields. He's going to stay over half health.
So the answer to the question of what are they going to do with their lead is they're going to lose 1 member and go 1-0. So apparently every time a team fight's breaking out, they're having some lag.
Yeah, it's going to be a spike in it. Both sides having the lag. That lets you know that it's a server issue.
Yeah, it's what it seems to be.
This was our Quantic game also.
Yeah, no, the vVv is saying that they had this lag yesterday as well. And it's definitely server-side lag to some degree. We're playing on the tournament realm.
Yeah, so shouldn't be an overburdened server.
Yeah, there's shouldn't be.
I'm not sure how strongly they sort of segregate those out and keep them, if they're still on the shared server architecture, so they're still subject to the same lag as the main servers, or if they're kept in a more protected environment, or if the games are still spawned off that same sort of server cloud. Obviously, would need some inside knowledge for that one. I'm sure somebody from Riot will let us know what the architecture is back there.
And so, looking at Zane King's build back to the game, he's got Void Staff here. He's looking for that penetration because there isn't a lot of magic resist on the side of vVv. So he's looking to do that extra damage. Look, granted, it's based off of percentages, so it's more effective the higher their magic resist is. But he's still just looking to chunk down those resistances that they don't really have. And then the fact that he also has distortion on his boots, looking for more flash tibbers. And Cog making the move on the Baron. Yeah, take out, get snuggled. Why not?
Got the read. Can they burn it down fast enough? Might be able to. They can. No.
Whoa!
Big steal by Cheese Beluga. I thought that was all but done. Porpoise Pops was out of range, but no, Cheese Beluga taking it away from him.
So if he Arcano pulses, uses his R at the same time, his R is doing about 675 magic damage, and then his Q is doing around 630. So he's doing about 1300 damage if he uses both of them at the same time, and then you take the magic resistant Baron into account, and then Void Staff. He's doing about maybe 900, and Ziploc, his smite is about that same. It's 900 on the dot. So it's really just a toss-up there if Cheese Beluga threw both at the same time.
Came out on top with it too. vVv in a big way. First gold lead of the game. They're up by 400 gold now. It counts. 6 turrets to 5, 12 kills to 10. What if we told you that the first 30 minutes of this game, they didn't have a single kill on the board?
I'd say you were a liar.
Wouldn't believe it.
I wouldn't at all.
There it is, vVv, huge comeback. Both teams upset about the lag, and understandably. But it's hitting both sides from the sounds of it.
So it's even, right? Nobody has an advantage over the other?
You'd think, right? Big AoE comp versus right-click comp, so really goes either way.
It doesn't seem to be affecting the spectator. We basically see it the same, maybe every now and then, but man, that's got to be upsetting.
Yeah. So, Kong, just what can they do now? Again, we talked about it just a little bit. It's one of those things. If they've got a beefy front line and you're going double AD comp, you've really got yourself on a timer. They can build armor. They can answer you back. And in this case, they have done. Add on to that the fact that they went with a big AD top laner. Zion King, he's got a little bit of damage in the bank. It's not really anything to write home about, just big penetration, a little bit of extra magic damage there. He's not going to be contributing all that much. Ziploc, he's trying to mix it up, but he's more tank than damage at this point. Went with the Ninja Tabby, got the Haunting guys, and that's going to be all she wrote for that. You put in a little bit of damage, but right now, all they've got to worry about on vVv, especially that front line, is auto attacks coming in, and they've both got Thornmail, they've both got Randu and Zome. It's going to be very hard to get through. An extra Chain Vest now on to get snuggled, going to be very hard to kill him.
Maybe turning that into a Guardian Angel? I think might be the next item from him. Just
2 lives? That's way better than 1 life.
Ooh, they evened up the turrets. Down 2 in kills, only down 300 gold, and it goes back and forth. They had a lead here for a second. Just very, very, very slightly.
Catching like outside of a team fight this time.
Ooh. Does not bode well.
What? Snuggle. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, I just saw that.
Big lag.
Kitty's skipping around.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those during fights. Look at that.
Okay.
That is just unplayable right there. I have no idea how these guys have made it through this game as is.
Yeah. Cheese Beluga's like, holy... Wow.
Hard for him, especially because if he sieges at the wrong time, he is just dead. That startup animation, so very long. You get out of it, you get the extra move speed for getaway juice, but, you pop that siege button and people can be on you before you know it. Still a very, very even game. Baron buff still spinning on vVv.
This is
hard
so
to siege when you're lagging there.
Because it seems to happen more at night, and it's the same problem has been happening with the European tournament realm, from what I've been seeing when I watch it. Because it's night for them, so I don't know what happens.
I got that feeling that they don't have the tournament realm actually segregated out. The spawn, the login server is separate, but that the games are still spawned from that same core group of servers. So peak hours, especially on a weekend like this, you're going to see that sort of instability. That could be what's happening here.
Whoa!
Kong going to turn it around.
And apparently,
game of chicken, they are going to lose something for the cost.
Why
they better pick.
Did they just run straight up the middle and miss all of vVv?
Must have done, and they had big ward coverage in base for vVv, and they get out clean.
And then they juked in vVv, getting a sneaky inhibitor. It's dead even on gold right now. Dead even on turrets.
Oh,
wow.
Flag again. Pause coming out.
Okay.
I am assuring you guys right now that we've got guys behind the scenes talking to somebody. Because, it's plainly visible. When even the spec server, because a lot of times the spec server will smooth out minor lag bumps. That's talking spikes that are lasting nigh on a second, which just, really, it's going to hurt a lot of people, both sides, with a real potential for trouble. None more, though, than Cognitive, because with 2 ADs, they need positioning to be perfect. Tails can reposition himself a little. There's the dash on nothing here, but there's a big front line for vVv. If Kong's going to have any hope of winning this, they got to know where their AD carries are and who they're attacking, and that is accurately what's going on with what they're seeing.
You got to give it to these guys, though. They keep powering through. They keep unpausing, and they just have these really brief pauses and just continue on with it. I don't know if they were told to do that or if they waited for a ruling and that was the ruling. but I have no clue about these things. Once again, just a caster, not a rule
Yep.
guy.
Not a rule guy. It's not, if you can believe it, we don't make any decisions other than what we have for lunch before the tournament starts.
Sometimes I don't even get to make those.
Yeah, that's whatever's around, you know.
It's a sad life, right?
For you, wheatgrass. For me, whatever doesn't run away from me fast enough.
Bringing out the vegetarian jokes, huh?
Yeah, I had to a little one. But then I made it sound like I was very poor and perhaps ate rats. Or small fat children who couldn't get away from me quickly enough.
Those are I hear they're exactly.
Yeah. Succulent. Moist.
And you're making me crave some meat. I never had it before. These are some strange cravings. What are you doing in my body, Wombat?
Hey man, that's nature. You know what I mean? That's nature speaking as a conduit through your salivary glands. 5 dragons to 1, 2 barons both going over to vVv, and a 48-minute game just on the back of the fact that I don't think either of these teams really want to fight. vVv don't know that they're going to win the next team fight. Same for COG. The lag has been it's been intermittent, but it has been very severe.
Yeah, it's a really sad state of the game when you're commentating about the lag being a factor in the fights.
Yeah.
It's an 11th player that has to intervene in the game. Who's gonna favor today? Looks like he's gonna have to back orb walk while he's lagging. Look at those lag mechanics. He's been playing on some EU West.
Hey, the guys in Australia know exactly what I'm talking about. Playing on the North American server, they know those feels. Nobody paused the game.
And now we're gonna have the Elise Spider blowing up it over and over again.
Who paused? Did Riot? But we may have direct intervention. They may have assumed direct control. Guys, call Shepard. It's on.
And nobody paused. Oh. Yep. But enjoy the sounds of Elise just having that spider pop over and over and over again. Yeah, Blank has paused the game.
Yeah.
Nobody paused it. I think Riot.
We may have, again, like I said, they may
gods.
be assuming direct control here.
The Riot gods
the
come
lag
down.
pause.
The
that's
player,
good.
the lag paused the game.
What do we do? We'll get, hopefully somebody's in contact. Well, I mean, we're live, right? We're not 3 minutes in the past. Okay, so Riot paused. We've got our guys in contact here. That is good, because, I mean, we are very deep into a game here that vVv was well behind on. Lag was definitely a factor in how this one burned, but, you know, you're 49 minutes in. You can't just walk it away. Looks like they're going to remake. That's what Riot's calling. At least that's what Nothing Here is saying. Obviously, vVv, I mean, they're in great shape. You don't want to see that.
So Riot says they want a remake. vVv is saying no. This is a 50-minute game.
Snuggled, not agreeing to the end-user license agreement.
Oh, uh-oh. They do not agree to the terms of service.
It's not going for the TOS.
Uh-oh.
That's a big play. It's a big play by Get Snuggled. Declining the TOS. I don't think he's going to be able to install League now.
I don't know. That's a bold move, Cotton. We have to see if it plays out.
Although, to be fair, you don't have to accept the TOS for the tournament round. That's just
That's true. It just pops up.
Do you have to?
I don't know.
Do you have to after the patch?
I think if you break anything, then they're just Riot's just gonna be like, no, get out of here.
They'll come find your kneecaps. They'll send Vinny. What they'll do? Take care of business.
Cap you a little bit, just a little bit.
Tails calling it stupid. I gotta say, I mean, really, it's Riot's call on this one. It was such a big factor that, I mean, we could see people sliding around. That's why I thought mine was fast forwarding, I guess, in a couple of those big fights. There was a lot of move speed, and server lag paired with gigantic move speed means me thinking everybody was going even faster than they were.
Yeah, with the whole ultimate from Sivir just flying in there. Hey, that ultimate's OP. He actually went through a wall.
Yeah, which is, I mean, a solid maneuver if you can pull it off.
So
let us know when we can continue. Yeah, and again, it's going to be Riot's call on this one. I'm sure the teams in some way need to be complicit here. I mean, COG, obviously, Cog with every reason. 10k gold lead. There was lag. Every reason to go with it. vVv, obviously, Yeah, Cog calling it right there. Cog Ziploc saying this is for LCS guys. So, I mean, everybody's serious face on right now on both sides.
Yeah, they're being serious. vVv doesn't want to remake. Cog is saying we should. Maybe they'll remake on live. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
I'm not sure if what if the live servers are having the same question mark. We had the same problem yesterday. We got people looking into it, so don't worry yourselves. Not sure. I'm gonna check our guys, see what we're saying. Get a call from Vindexus as to whether we're going how long this is gonna go on. Obviously, this pause time, you can see pause by blank, not gonna count against either team. The 10-minute pause rule not in effect here. This is for administrative decisions, and they're going to unpause without calling ready. So
that's right for you.
Hopefully everybody was ready.
Right, unpaused it. They're just like, enough bantering, get on with the games.
Nothing they could do there. Cog with a quick R question mark, as they would have repaused if they hadn't gotten the go-ahead from vVv. But vVv says they're ready and they're going to fight it in.
They're still lagging.
Most assuredly, we are going to be changing it up after this game. Looks like. This will be our last tournament round game, as the instability not going to be tenable. God, look at it.
Ugh.
That is ridiculous. I mean, we did not see. We saw some glitches with the spectator server yesterday. We did not see anything on this level during yesterday's play as far as lag goes.
Whew. A tornado just went through them.
Oh, man.
This is going to be difficult for both teams.
Yeah, this is definitely going to take some talking about here. Chris over into the corner. He's going to catch a stun. Zine King wants to come out. Runs out about half his health. No idea where anybody is. Huge lag spike there. And at the end of it, Zine King is gone. Going to end up with a really poorly positioned Ziploc there. Zamfira running low. vVv chasing it down. That's going to be enough of a burn to finish off Zamfira. Inhibitor down. It looks like vVv is going to take this one. And Ziploc going to come out. Locks up Porpoise Pops. They try it on again. Chris doing what he can. Nothing here in. Ends up too far forward. He backs it on up. Lag spike there. And vVv trying to get themselves into a better position. Chris going to spin the GA on Tails. GA on Get Snuggled spinning. Do they have enough to take him down? Tails gets... No! Can't get clear. Nothing here. Going to pull one back. Get Snuggled on the run. Nowhere to go. Gets locked up, and they'll get two back. 70 seconds to respawn time now as we creep over 51 minutes.
It's 2 for 2 with both GAs being spent on that one. The positioning is just so hard to do with this lag. It's funny that I have to say that. So,
no. It's like you said, the 11th man.
He's
in there in a big
unpredictable.
way. They're looking for Cheese Beluga and Porpoise Pops now. They've got the flank angle on them. If nothing here can get down in time, Zine King going to come out and skip right by those minions. Can't catch him up. Spins the ult. Too short. Nothing here. Not going to get it.
Yeah, he tagged him a little bit onto Porpoise Pops, but it's not going to give him anything. Maybe a little bit of move speed from Phage, but that's it. He's not going to be able to follow up anything.
So the call, obviously, there to restart the game. As we finally get a little bit of downtime on the other side of that. vVv going to go, you could call it even, kind of a 4 for 2 in a way. The Guardian Angels are popped. Cog working down Baron. Godshoe in, nobody else close.
Yep, their members were up sooner. Oh boy.
They got time for it too. Auto attackers, first Baron of the game for Cog. As ult's just a little late. Big
Gold.
grab for Cog after a string of defeats.
Gold is dead even, once again. In this game,
200 gold difference with 80,000 on the board. You're at a point where it just doesn't even really matter. I mean, that's in-game builds for everybody.
supports are getting there too.
So now it's going to come down to a combination of positioning, a little bit of lag luck, and who can find the picks, who can find the team fight initiations. Guardian Angel gone on Tails. He swapped it out. and
Oh,
picked up
yeah.
a... no, wait, was that a Guardian Angel on... Yeah, it was one on Tails.
yeah.
Swapped it out for a Banshee's Veil.
Yep. And Cheese Beluga picked up his own Guardian Angel now.
Deciding that if that is going to go down, he probably won't be able to get out of it anyway, so he switches to the Banshee's Veil. For a better chance at a start there. Banshee's Veil spinning on Chris now. To be very, very useful because he'll come back up. Fairly short cooldowns. Give him a chance to get some work done. They're trying to get a chase down here. vVv going to wait in the brush. Knockup's going to go on a line. Repel. Good zip lock over to the other side of the fight. Porpoise pops with an initiation. The rest of vVv over the wall. Chris buying a lot of time. He's going to spin. Cog going to get in a reposition here. Tails over the wall. Runs extremely low. Porpoise pops back in. Godshoe with the knockback. Going to get a little bit of health back. Chris back up for a double. Triple make it. Chris paying big dividends there with the pickup on the Guardian Angel.
So Shyvana at the start of the fight ran into the trees, literally into the trees, and like looped around. I don't know what the positioning was on that or the idea, but Chris got into the back line and just destroyed Tails in a full combo. Cheese Beluga isn't even backing. He's waiting for nothing here. Is he going to set up a combo?
Gonna try it on him. He'll get the stun. Is there enough damage? Comes back out of it. Nothing here with the lifesteal. Gets snuggled in for the combo.
Cheese Beluga
They're
doesn't
going to
even
lose
use
the
his
Nexus
GA.
turret. Dog got to burn it in. They've still got 30 seconds. Base race against the Nexus turrets. Nothing here. Not going to be up in time. They've got a minion line. Get snuggled there. Cheese Beluga in. Nexus turrets down. Cog with a big chance here. They've got auto attackers. Can they play it? Got to keep Chris alive. Chris going to fall. Nothing doing. Cog win.
Despite vVv getting back into the game with the gold, the lag, yep. I didn't see it in his last couple seconds
No,
of the
those
game.
last couple of fights
but-
really looked clean.
Well, there was that one at the start, but still, Cognitive going to take it away. They're going to improve to 2-1, and that's going to make vVv 0-2, and I think we're switching over to live.
Very, very possibly we're going to get all of that sorted out. Wonderful game there. Came down the last couple of seconds. Well played by Cog. They got back across the field in time. We'll be back right after this with our 6th game of the day.